going on, YouTubeites? Happy Sunday to you. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your fantasy teams did well, or if your team just won, period. Mine didn't, so that sucks for me. But hey, shout out to everybody in the live chat who's been tailgating. There was like 80 of you in there before the show started, so, we're only 11 minutes late, just like the Rolling Stones. You never come on right on time. So while you guys are congregating so more people can kind of join in, it's a Lord's tradition to play some music before the show starts, right? I mean, we got to do it, right? So let me get you something. Just say the word. Now that's how you get a party started. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Mikey Sutton, what's going on, my brother?
Man, we are rocking tonight already. Look at that. I haven't even said anything yet, and already the show's
110
already
people
moving,
already.
man.
It's like, yeah, geez. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to JT Ramirez, JLS Comics, Nemesis Prime, holding it down with the wrench. Special shout out to Moonlit Comics, who won her battle off on Tony Sanders' show. Congratulations, Michelle. She go peep it out. She it's a battle of comic books, and she had some great books, man. If you're not following Moonlit Comics, go follow Moonlit Comics on Instagram. She does some great books, and she's not constantly taking selfies of herself like other comic book girls. But I won't go there. But I think I just did. But anyway, special shout out. This show is sponsored by our good friends over at KRScomics.com. Go to KRScomics.com. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off anything and any KRS Comics exclusive. They didn't make it to NYCC, but these are the exclusives they dropped today. Go over to KRS Comics. Use discount code. If you think that the Batgirl cover is similar, it's actually not. This is different from the other two. The other two was a trade dress, and then the other one was like the minimal dress. This one doesn't have it at all. It just says it's Batman 89 in the upper right hand corner. Natalie Sanders, Morlu, and I believe that's Jung Lee Yu or somebody who's doing that Ultimate Fallout facsimile always have a problem saying facsimile. But yeah, so let's just try to preface this show when we say this is a big list, and this is only part one of the list.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, Victoria Alonso, one of the executive producers from Marvel, said they had 31 projects in development, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting, TiVo, because that's not even the complete list. I mean, they're adding more. I mean, they're planning years and years ahead. So when you say like 31, it could be like 5 years from now, 6 years from now. By the way, I've got a feeling there are probably about 80 eBay windows open right now.
most of these are no brainers, but they're so here when they say 31 projects, you know, if you put it, Marvel does like 2, maybe 3 films a year. So majorities are streaming, Hulu, Disney Plus, maybe ABC, who knows what. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, some of these,
there will be ABC shows. Yeah.
so right now, I mean, some of these characters have already appeared, but they're getting their own Disney Plus series or movie series. But there's just think Disney Plus is a vehicle that, you know, they can put characters, give their own series that they maybe don't have as much confidence in on the big screen, right? It's kind of like it's like the AAA, right? You know, you make it in the minors, and next you know, you get called up to the big show. So this is the I don't know. The leaks. I don't know if it's a leak or what, but it's most of these will appear on Disney Plus Day. Some of them will not, but as usual, I've the ones that are in bold. When I read the character's name, those are the ones that are most probably going to be announced on Disney Plus Day. Is that correct?
Yeah, and TV, I just got a breaking news here for you.
Oh man, is this Cannonball already?
No, it's news for the show. There's a part three,
Holy
and
cow!
and
All
the
right,
part
because
three will focus on the X-Men. So that's going to be a hot show.
so
Yeah.
all right. So we have to do all these before Disney Plus Day in November.
Yeah,
So next
yeah,
Sunday we'll do part 2. Then the following Sunday after that we'll do part 3. And needless to say, it's gonna be let me show that real quick. It's gonna be dropping bombs like this. Oh, we dropping bombs! Just had to real fast.
yeah.
Copyright ding.
You just have to wonder, TiVo, is like, is anybody really excited for DC Fandom? Once the list starts to leak out, like what's going to be on Disney Plus Day? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I feel for. I mean, DC Fandom, the last one they did, I thought it was pretty good because
yeah, it was. Yeah,
they had the focus on Black Adam, they had the
yeah,
focus on the Batman, they even showed the Suicide Squad game and that game with the Robins or the Titans or whatever that game
yeah.
was. I mean, you know, I mean, so I hopefully HBO Max or DC Fandom doesn't, you know, they introduce more new characters, new shows, but you know what? Maybe that's for another time and another
Well,
discussion.
there's no Flash trailer. So that's
Really?
yeah. There's no Flash trailer, so that's disappointing.
How is that? How's that even possible? They've been filming that for like ever now.
Well, it's their decision not to spoil it, and I think what they're trying to hide is the fact that Ezra Miller is also the villain in the film, and I think they're trying to hide that and some other surprises. But you know, you hide that stuff, you're not really promoting the film. I mean, people are already like feeling lukewarm about it already.
Yeah.
The Batman trailer is basically an extension of the original one, of the one that we already released that with more footage
Hopefully we
added
get a
to
Black
it.
Adam trailer, right?
Mm.
Not even that at DC
You're gonna
Fandom.
see you're gonna see behind the scenes stuff. You might see some footage, but
Yeah. By the way, for those asking, yes, this is the Star Wars Vision Samurai shirt.
that's an awesome shirt.
That's right.
But
So
have you
yeah,
seen the Stan Sakai Deadpool cover? That is so awesome. Like wow.
no. But I
There's
saw some of the footage for the Yosagi Yojimbo
oh awesome.
animated series that they're doing. They showed like a quick little
Yeah.
thing during it, but no major announcements so far, as I know of today from NYCC. But shout out to everybody who went to NYCC today. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. This is a Disney Plus Day Marvel series long-term spec as well as leaks. Possibly, majority of this is going to be announced from what Mikey's hearing during Disney Plus Day.
Yeah.
Things are always subject to change. Okay, so if it doesn't come true, I don't want to be people mentioning us, talking about I told you guys. Anyway, let's get right to the first one. All right, the first one on the list. Valkyrie. First appearance is Defenders issue number 4. Of course, this is, I believe, Brunhilde. I'm throwing up the fair market value that I find on Cover Price or Raw Dogs, right around $77. What are you hearing about the Valkyrie series?
Yeah, this is, remember a couple of years ago, I scooped the Journey into Mystery show. That's still in early development, but it looks like they're going forward with Valkyrie from obviously the Thor Ragnarok film.
With Tessa
Uh,
Thompson, the same actress?
yeah, same actress, yeah. Giving her own solo shot to, further flesh out the character.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, in Endgame, when she was on her horse, she
yeah.
was badass. That
Oh
was,
yeah, I'm excited about this show. Yeah.
yeah. I have a feeling it's going to take place on Earth, like the Asgard that's on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yep.
introduce some other characters. The one thing about Thor Ragnarok, which kind of irritated me, was they killed off what were the what did they call it? The something three, whatever.
Oh, the Warriors
Um,
3.
the Warriors 3 too soon, right? I was
Yeah.
like, what? Come on now. Fandral and all. I mean, it was like, that's the only downside of Ragnarok was they killed him off and killed him off rather easily with Hela. I mean, obviously she's very powerful, but I think Hogan the Grim was the only one that really gave her a battle,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Japanese actor was the only one, but the rest from Fandral went out like just it was just
Yeah.
like he's like I gotta go do my Shazam movie. Just kill me now. You know what I mean?
Well, I got a cannonball related to this, Kivo. It's a
All
cannonball.
right, your first cannonball of the day.
Yep,
Drink him
yep.
if you got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right.
Yeah. So as far as the Warriors 3 are concerned, there is something interesting that's about to happen in the MCU, and I think it'll probably be explained in Doctor Strange. Um, what I'm hearing is that we're going to see Baldur the Brave in the Valkyrie show. I don't
He's
know.
like the one major like Asgardian that we haven't seen yet. Is
Yeah,
Baldur.
exactly right. Has not
Yeah.
appeared. Yeah, finally makes his
Yeah.
debut. I don't know what his first appearance is. I'm sure someone of you can look it up really quickly.
It's it's a early journey into mystery.
Oh, is
so-
it? Oh, well, it's probably pricey
yeah.
already. So
It's already pricey. Yeah, yeah. A lot of those books, I mean, like first Hela, first Enchantress, all those books, all Silver Age, Journey into Mystery, they really did. So correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, but in Norse mythology, wasn't Baldur, wasn't he Thor's like half brother or step brother or some weird? It's different from the comics, but I believe in Norse mythology, Baldur is actually a brother of Thor or something along those lines. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. So I would love to see that. Didn't you hear that Zack Snyder's doing an Excalibur film or King Arthur type film?
Yeah, I heard about that before.
I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of interesting because, first of all, Excalibur, one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Oh,
I
man.
don't care what you say.
Awesome
Mormon's
film. Awesome.
Excalibur is the best retelling of Arthurian legend ever, man. That is
Yeah.
And the cast in there is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you're talking Liam Neeson, what's his name? The Professor Xavier's in it.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, the older lady now. God, I shouldn't have been watching football and drinking. So anyway, my memory's shot. Anyway, first one on the list is Valkyrie. So it's going to be definitely the version. It's going to be Tessa Thompson, not Jane Foster, right?
Yeah, it's Tessa, and also look for I'm sure they met in the comic books before, right? Baldur and Valkyrie. The first time they meet should be a good situational spec there.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's multiple iterations of Valkyrie as well.
Yeah.
But this is, for this one, I love the Defenders run, by the way. And plus, this is the first, in 1973. $77 is relatively cheap. Even though the Valkyrie, you don't really get her name, I don't think, in Thor Ragnarok. Or I don't know what they call her, but but it doesn't matter. It's the character that people will care about, and if they see a Valkyrie series, the first thing they're going to do is let me go buy Valkyrie comics. All right, so Defenders number 4 from 1973 is the first appearance of, I think it's Broomhilda is her name, Valkyrie.
You know what's really funny, TiVo, is that people say that you have this segment of fandom that complain that Marvel is political, Marvel is woke, and Marvel in the 70s was publishing all these women's lib books, right? I mean, Valkyrie was part of that, and Hellcat, and they were totally capitalizing on the women's liberation movement at the time, blatantly so. And Marvel's woke now. They've always been progressive. That's nothing has changed.
If you think about Wonder Woman, when they tried to make her like part of the women's rights movement, and they stripped her of her powers, and I think she was like a reporter or something at one point. It was kind of stupid. Yeah, they don't know what to do with that character.
She had like an Emma Peel type of costume back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she had like this very. She was just dressed up like she was like and then she was like, I'm a reporter now. It's like Wonder Woman. For like she worked for like a Cosmopolitan type or something like that. It was like a weird Bronze Age Wonder Woman thing. All right.
And the irony of it all is Gloria Steinem, producer of the publisher of Ms. Magazine, hated it. She's like, bring back the outfit.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest feminist of them all, right? And
exactly.
Why are you doing? Because basically, what their intentions were in the right place, but then they were like saying you're depowering her.
There you go.
Give the woman power. You know what I mean? Like she's an Amazon warrior princess. For God's sakes. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Next one on the list shouldn't be a surprise, but a surprise is that she's getting a solo series because she just appeared in What If as well. So Gamora.
Yeah,
Strange
and this
Tales.
will be some details on this one, TiVo. This will be a prequel before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. So it'll take place in the past, and it'll deal with her relationship with Thanos and what she was doing at that time. So we're going to see pretty savage Gamora, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, because this is a great run from 179 to like 182, the Strange Tales Warlock run. So Strange Tales issue to 180 is the first appearance of Gamora. And recently there's been some Gamora and Nebula comics that have been moving. So I'm just saying, read the tea leaves, man. Watch the cover price shakers and the top 10 lists, and you see these books moving for some reason. We're not pushing them, but they're moving. All right, next up on the list, speaking of Strange Tales, this one is interesting. If you notice, these first two, they're in bold, so it means that they're most probably going to be announced during Disney Day. But this one is not. It says, and it's Adam Warlock with Pip the Troll. And I picked Strange Tales 179 because I do believe this is the first meeting of Warlock and Pip the Troll. What do you hear about this?
Yeah, and I heard that the reason why they're not going to announce this yet is because, spoiler alert, okay, there's 2 cannonballs here. They're pretty obvious though, so I don't really want to make too big of a deal of them. But they want to keep it a secret, which is not a secret to most of us anymore, that Adam Warlock is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And so by announcing it at Disney Plus, they'd be like, oh, wait a minute, where is he going to make his first appearance, right? And then Pip the Troll is going to be in Eternals.
Really?
Yeah. And so that Pip the Troll book is, I don't know, if they cast the right person as Pip the Troll, he's really funny, that character could really take off, you know?
Yeah. He's like a kind of a little badass puck, cigar smoking weird alien. Yeah. What's interesting is there's been a lot of rumors recently too about the casting for Warlock, which I think everybody has been cast. Zac Efron back in 2021, and then most recently it was that kid from The Millers. There, some I don't know, some website was saying, but it's come on. We know Warlock is coming. He was pretty much teased at the end of the last Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, when they say Adam is AKA ends up being Warlock. So for those who don't know, so there you go. So Adam with Pip the Troll. So there you go. So it's going to be a Disney Plus series. Do you think this is down the road, or do you think that Warlock will make his big screen appearance on Guardians of the Galaxy first?
He'll debut in Guardians first, and then have the TV show to kind of explore his early days. Maybe it's kind of leading to Annihilation. TiVo is what
this Strange Tales run is really weird. It is really weird. Yeah, I mean, you got Pip the Troll, Warlock, and it's all these weird kind of space stuff, but it's a great run, man. 179 and like 182 or something like that. I think I have all 4 of them slabbed when I was specking hard on Warlock like 2 or 3 years ago. All right, let's go down to the next one. This one is This one is in bold, so that means this is definitely going to be our most probably will be announced during Disney Day. And it says Ghost Riders, plural, could be with Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. And the reason I picked this book, Ghost Rider Volume 2, number 14, this is, believe it or not, the first time that Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch met each other in the comics.
Mm-hmm. So what I've been hearing, TiVo, is they're going to use both characters. And right now, they haven't made the final decision yet, but they felt that calling it Ghost Riders would easily separate it from those Nicolas Cage films. There's something different in here. So another thing I'm hearing is that Johnny Blaze will be Johnny Blaze. He'll be Ghost Rider initially, but he'll just be Johnny Blaze and become the mentor figure for Danny Ketch. Is what I'm hearing. So you'll have both.
Yeah, man. And you and I, and we've been talking about it on the show. The Black Knight has been talking about it in the show for a long time. When we had Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, even Alejandra Jones at one point we had as the female Ghost Rider. There's a rich history of Ghost Riders that they can do, and I don't think you can do a film, but to properly flesh out the history of all like the different Ghost Riders and the history of them, a Disney Plus series would be great. You know what I mean? Now that they have that Disney Plus money, they could do it properly. I mean, that's the one thing that drained the hell out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was making Robbie Reyes the CGI for Robbie Reyes, which he did really well, but unfortunately that also killed the show. So we shall see. Speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
I got Cannonball this one too. TV.
Oh my God! Here we go. Let me drop you guys with. Is this a major Cannonball?
I don't. It's for the older people it'll be a major, but for the younger no.
All right, so we won't drop the bomb on them. We'll just drop the cannonball on them.
Just cannon.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Well, TiVo was talking about the Ghost Rider mythology, and this ties in with the Cannonball. They're going to show the original Western Ghost Rider. I believe Carter Slade, right? His name. So they're going to go into the history, which TiVo it opens it up to the Westerns that I've been scooping for years now on your show.
We've been talking to Marvel's going to be doing Westerns, and you stay tuned because you may, not this week, but maybe next week you may see a Western character. But Marvel is a rich history with Westerns. I meant, from that Gunsmoke book that I got, or whatever it was called, Gunhawks, to the Two Gun Kid, to all kinds of Colt Kid, and there's always a kid with a gun for some reason in Westerns, right? All right, so Ghost. Do you think
another Cannonball team?
Oh my God! All right, here. Another one for you guys. I hope you guys aren't drinking. Well, I hope you are, actually. It's Sunday night. Here we go. Here's another Cannonball for y'all, man. As soon as I find it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
So one of the discussions they had after Carter Slade was brought up, and Foggy is really into Marvel history, right? He loves that. He loves adapting the rich history of Marvel comics, and having Carter Slade on the show opens the door to the westerns they want to do, right? And have it in a way with a kind of more familiar character than Kid Colt Outlaw, for example, right? Um, at the same time, they're paying homage to the past of Ghost Rider. But one of the ideas that was brought up, and I don't know if this will happen, if they reached out to this particular person, but the idea has been thrown back and forth of having Nicolas Cage play Carter Slade,
That would be perfect.
which would be awesome, right?
So yeah, for those who don't know, Carter Slade is they also AKA the Phantom Rider. His alter ego, or when he's not the Ghost Rider or the Phantom Rider, is Carter Slade. So for all you old guys out there like us, so one of the coolest things I thought of the Ghost Rider films, make it what, if you hated him or you liked it, was Sam Elliott riding into the sunset with Nicolas Cage on his flaming horse.
Just one of the best scenes ever.
And I was like, why didn't you? He goes, I only got enough for one more ride. I was like, why didn't you save it to help Ghost Rider fight the villain at the end? Like, I was like, all right, but it looked pretty damn cool. A flaming Ghost Rider on a flaming horse. That was one of the cooler things of the Ghost Rider films. One of the worst things is Ghost Rider pissing flame, which was
horrible.
Oh my god! You remember that?
That was awful.
That was yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Nicolas Cage has no shame. He's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna do bad movies, and you're gonna enjoy it. Like that Muay Thai movie was just awful. He did this movie called Muay Thai, which is like a ripoff of Mortal Kombat. And no, I'm sorry. It wasn't called Muay Thai. It was called Jiu-Jitsu. It was a film called Jiu-Jitsu, starring Nicolas Cage as kind of like the Raiden, the mentor of everybody. And the irony of the film Jiu-Jitsu was there was no Jiu-Jitsu in it. Being as a big fan of martial arts of myself, I was looking for jiu-jitsu moves, and basically it was just like them kickboxing. And there was no jiu-jitsu in it whatsoever. But if you want to have a really some of the fight scenes are pretty good, but if you want to really, it's so good, it's so bad, it's good. Go check out Jiu-Jitsu with Nicolas Cage because it's out there. All right, so Ghost Riders with Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch. The first time they met is Ghost Rider Volume 2, number 14 from 1991.
I had a little bit of trivia on Ghost Rider too, for those who don't know. When the Western Ghost Rider was brought back in the 60s, and I think it was 70s, something like that, they didn't want to call him Ghost Rider again because they had Johnny Blaze, right? So they had to change the name. And one of the names that they changed it to was Knight Rider. Not as in the car, but Knight as in Night. However, they couldn't use that name because apparently Knight Rider was what they used to call the Ku Klux Klan. And
really?
Yeah, and so they changed it to Phantom Rider instead. That's how it became Phantom Rider.
I had never known that. See, you learn something about history, boys and girls, every time you tune in. So speaking of Agents of S.W.O.R.D,
oh boy,
we have different types of agents on this next one. Next one is, that's right, boys and girls, finally, S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah.
What are you hearing about S.W.O.R.D?
Well, we scooped this 2 years ago. A long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah, with Abigail Brand and everybody, yeah.
And that was like months before the pictures from WandaVision were released, right? No one knew S.W.O.R.D was kind of on nobody's radar when we dropped it. This will have what's his face? The guy the guy who does one of your music openings. Randall
Park.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Woo, basically.
Jimmy Woo, And then the lady and his friend from WandaVision, what's her name? I'm blanking out to the names.
Yeah. So this interesting issue is issue 3 is a cameo, but the first full, they say, is in number 6. And Abigail Brand, I believe, that's the one, the X-Men cover with Colossus hugging Kitty Pryde.
Mm-hmm.
So either one, I mean, raw comic for number 3 is about $5. Average sales on this seems to be the market has selected the number 6 as the first full is 2750. So either one of those is good, but this is one of those first. What's the cameo? What's the first full appearance? So so just get them both. But right now it looks like issue 6 is the one that everybody's getting for the first appearance of S.W.O.R.D, as well as Abigail Brand. So there you go. So finally we're getting some S.W.O.R.D action. Sentient World. I give up already. There was an acronym that someone in the live chat will get it. Speaking of agents of S.W.O.R.D, we go to another group of agents.
Wait,
finally,
I got a cannonball for S.W.O.R.D.
All right. Is it a big cannonball? Is this
Actually, it's a bomb. It's a bomb.
All right. Yeah. Well, in that case, we got to drop bombs on you then. That's all you had to say.
Oh, we dropping bombs!
All right, so Jimmy Woo and Darcy are going to be front and center of this show, kind of like the X-Files, right? Kind of like what you saw in WandaVision there. But what's cool about this show is that they're going to have a number of guest stars on the series, including and some supporting cast members too. They haven't decided which ones will just guest or which ones will be regulars. I do know that Kitty Pryde will be on S.W.O.R.D.
Really? So that matches up with the comics then? I meant
yep, and so will the Beast as well. So I got 2 bombs.
So that's issue number 6 where you see Colossus and Kitty Pryde on the cover, and that's the one. Go. Yeah. I wish I had a graphic for it, but I put it in there. So first cameo is issue 3, first full is 6. So I guess they're gonna do more with S.W.O.R.D. You think is it gonna be Earth based or is it gonna be space based like in the comics?
Both. They're gonna have episodes in space. They're gonna have extraterrestrial goings on Earth. It's very much like X-Files except for the space part.
Yeah, and S.W.O.R.D has already been introduced, obviously, in WandaVision. So, so it sounds like Jimmy Woo will be taking over S.W.O.R.D for the guy that kind of just went rogue and was trying to shoot children.
Another bump, TiVo, I forgot.
Oh man, here we go. We'll drop a cannonball now. Cannonball.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Want to say hello to my artist, Noel Leon Flores, who's watching right now. Our Dreamwalker number 1. Yeah, Dreamwalker 1 is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, he likes watching this show. I think he probably has some of these comic books in his collection too.
Awesome.
Yeah, Abigail Brand is in the show too, by the way. So the next cannonball, there is a regular that I know of. You guys are very familiar with this character because you guys have been talking about it. No one else talking about it except for collectors, right? Blue Marvel is on the show.
Boom.
He will be a regular. He'll be a regular.
Yeah, because he kind of is like he's one of the smartest characters in the Marvel universe, and he's very powerful as well. And it's been spec'd on a long time now. The book is I think in a 9.8 is like a 1500. But having Blue Marvel in there would be awesome. I mean, obviously it checks off all the boxes too, right? You got a person of color, and he's powerful. And I have a feeling it's one of those things where let's put Blue Marvel on this show and let's see how the fan reaction is. And if it is, maybe Blue Marvel will get his own series or movie or something along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if you kind of see what the test case is for Marvel, the blueprint and what they do, you can kind of see where they go. They put feelers out, see how things go. And then if it goes well, then they go. They're not like, somebody else who just, they get trigger, they get shell shock and they just decide not to do anything at all. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Let's just scrap it all and just not do it at all. Anyway, so S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah, Disney Plus is like Marvel Premiere, right? Or Marvel Spotlight, like a tryout show, really.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, hell, we're getting a Agatha Harkness show
There you
on
go.
Disney
See,
Plus. I haven't even talked that because that's already been announced. So
yeah, I know.
that one's easy. So there you go. So next up, we go from Agents of S.W.O.R.D to Agents of Atlas, War of the Realms and New Agents of Atlas, issue number 1 from 2019. What are you hearing about Agents of Atlas?
Yeah, before I go into this, I just want to give you a little taste of what to expect at Disney Plus Day. I'm hearing that we will see a Moon Knight trailer. And
Yes.
to me, that's going to destroy anything at DC
That's
Fandom.
going to blow up the internet, yep.
I mean, unless they announce the Ayer cut, Moon Knight's going to kill it. Okay? You get a fight scene with Oscar Isaac and anybody. It's just going to kill it. You know? Even the official costume reveal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they already announced they wrapped production, so
Yeah.
I full on expecting them to do a full on trailer for Moon Knight. Maybe Oscar Isaac, because it's virtual obviously, but you can go, maybe they'll have him say some stuff. I will say this: there is some footage of Oscar Isaac doing some fight choreography for Moon Knight, and he looks really good. Like he is very athletic. He was doing like capoeira kicks. He was doing some Muay Thai stuff. It looked really good. So hopefully, in the footage that they show him, he's actually like stabbing people.
It's pretty. It's gonna push the end level of violence. I've been hearing it's pretty violent show, TiVo.
Yeah, if you don't think Disney Plus can get violent, just watch What If. People are getting sliced in half.
Marvel Zombies episode. Holy crap!
Marvel Zombies are eating people, and then I saw some people complaining that Vision killed Ultron too easily, but no. What people failed to recognize was that was Vision with Ultron with the Mind Stone, and Thanos hadn't gotten the Mind Stone yet. He had literally just showed up, and then Vision just cut him in half before he could do anything. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, by the way. But go peep it out. All right, Agents of Atlas.
Yeah.
We've been high in this book for a long time now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the book on here is first appearance of Wave is the Miko Siyuan variant, which is hot as well. But it's perfect time, Asian team of superheroes, Do you think Jimmy Woo is going to be part of this, or going to keep it separate with S.W.O.R.D?
He's going to make appearances, but he won't be a regular. S.W.O.R.D is really his show.
Okay.
Now, Agents of Atlas, let me give you a little bit of info on this one. I do have more information on this. Agents of Atlas is why S.W.O.R.D isn't called Agents of S.W.O.R.D. And spoiler alert, S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back. They won't be called S.H.I.E.L.D. And because you can't have Agents of and Agents of, right?
So S.H.I.E.L.D. will be back, but it won't be called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, it'll be called Secret Warriors. Oops, spoiler alert.
Oh, duh.
So Agents of they're gonna build up through the Shang-Chi franchise. So I believe in the second one is where they start forming the team. Like in the same way that MCU did the Avengers, and Young Avengers are doing the same formula. They're doing, you're going to see the characters one by one. They just got a couple of years off, but they feel that Disney Plus for now is the best place to put Agents of Atlas. They're going all the way with the show.
Yeah. And after because it was so popular when this came out, this was part of War of the Realms. There's an actual second volume just called Agents of Atlas, but this is this is the one that collectors are seeking out though. So Agents of Atlas, War of the Realms, number 1, the first appearance of the new Agents of Atlas, and a bunch of other characters that are in there as well. Next up is a character we've seen in animated form, but now we are going to see in live action form.
Captain Carter, Peggy Carter is back, but as Captain Carter, and this is a definite thing. They really are going to do this. They've been building her up on What If. They really want to have Peggy come back, but in a different way, because they already told her story, through Endgame, right? With Steve Rogers and all that. So they're going to do a different take on her. Obviously a different version of her through the multiverse. And I got some details on this, Evo. She is going to travel through the multiverse. So we're going to see different variants and different worlds on this show. So she'll be different from Captain America that way as well. Um, and another thing too, got a cannonball.
Oh boy. Drink them if you got them, boys and girls.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Yeah, so we have a first appearance coming on Captain Carter, and this show is coming sooner than you think. We're looking like maybe 2 years here. Um, in fact, it might get announced at Disney Plus Day as well. Yeah, Captain Britain is going to make his debut on this show.
Finally.
So you're finally going to see Captain Britain. They're going to team up for an episode, which will just introduce the character. This is going to be a hot show. I mean, there's no doubt
I
about
think
it.
that she was one of the fan favorites on the What If show. I mean,
She was,
obviously, I
yeah.
mean, you know, and people are in the live chat saying, how are they going to bulk her up? You know, whatever CGI. Once they put a suit on him, I mean, that suit can add, you know, thickness
Yeah.
to them and whatever else and whatever stunt doubles. I'm pretty sure she won't be. Because the What If series, people keep on talking about how characters are all kind of weighed. Well, it's because it's animated, right? Even Hawkeye has totally different arrows. You can do a lot more things with the animation than you can. So I would expect, even if you see Captain Carter, to be more grounded, more closer to Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, doing those things. But I think Captain Carter or Agent Carter or whatever the hell she's called. I put Exiles #3. This is the first appearance of this version. Called she's Captain America, but obviously there's really no true Captain Carter in the comics. The variant to get is the what is it, Rosie the Riveter variant? But I put this one up. But if you already see, the raw one is already going fair market value about $42. But the game, I think it's a GameStop variant or some game variant where, remember Rosie the Riveter, that old World War II
yeah.
thing? She's posing like that one. That one is the hot book to get, but it only makes sense to bring in Captain Britain, right? Eventually, I mean, you know, she even mentions him in Avengers Endgame, right? When Captain America goes back in time, and she name drops Captain Britain. So I think they're just waiting, setting it up. Then hopefully, I mean, we talked about it before that we're going to get Excalibur team, but that's for another time, boys and girls. That's for another time.
And
All right.
don't be surprised if you're going to see a variation of the Guardians of the Multiverse in live action. Okay?
That would be dope.
Just throwing it out there because
Yeah.
Feige is in love with the concept. Just adores it.
Yeah, that was a great episode. I just wish it was longer, man.
I know,
as soon
same
as I saw
here.
as soon as I saw the runtime of 35 minutes, I was like, damn, man, it's going to totally be an hour long, man. It was,
Like a movie out of that, actually.
but it's like the What If comics, though. They're very truncated. They tell the story, you know, they don't, I don't know if there's ever been like a 2-part What If story. You know what I mean? It's all encapsulated in like one story. And so they just kind of give you like, here's the run up. From what I'm understanding, there was a episode of What If they didn't air. It was at I don't know if it was the Killmonger episode because if you remember, somebody told me in the live chat, there was one episode that didn't make air. I don't know why, but apparently that's why I could have swore it was T'Challa, or excuse me, Killmonger going to Wakanda. You remember, and they just kind of plucked him out after he's pilfering Wakanda, and you know, so it'd be interesting to see. Oh, it was the Gamora episode. I'm sorry,
It's Gamora, yeah, that's the one.
there was a Gamora episode that kind of explains, you know, who and how Gamora is. Oh, yeah, there you go. What if Gamora killed Thanos? So, you know, that made sense, right? Because if you notice in the What If series, the finale, she has Thanos's giant double sword that was in Endgame, right? She was wielding that. So, you know, so that's probably how Gamora got it. She killed him and then took his sword. So maybe we'll see it season 2. We never know, but very good. I can't wait to. So from what I'm hearing, season 2 of What If is going to be all the Phase 4 stuff.
Yeah, Shang-Chi will be in it.
Oh, that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope. So because so far all the characters you've seen in What If have already appeared in film. I'm thinking, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
now with the next phase of the MCU, they're gonna introduce those characters into do different What If stories and maybe cross pollination and all this great stuff. Man, love it. I love it. Love
Like,
it.
what
Now,
if what if Shang-Chi joined the Ten Rings? And
oh, that'd be dope. Oh man. All right. So Captain
awesome.
Carter, a live action series coming to Disney Plus. It's in bold, so that means they may announce it on Disney Plus Day.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is a fan favorite and a little quirky little quacker. Howard the Duck,
Yeah.
live action. First appearance is actually Fear, but it's called it Adventure in Fear in the cover. But the actual issue is Fear issue number 19. I do believe there was a magazine that may have came before it, but this is the first in the Marvel comics. What are you hearing about Howard the Duck?
Yeah, so originally, I believe Kevin Smith was going to do an animated version for Hulu. That was canceled when Feige took over. I just kind of wonder, TiVo, how much will this show cost? I mean, if you have Howard the Duck, I don't think it will be, cheap to have, CGI Howard the Duck on there.
They're definitely not doing the George Lucas version where it was
No,
just
and-
like yeah.
It would be hilarious, TiVo, if they have that Dan Slott story where Howard the Duck is suing George Lucas for making that crappy film
Oh yeah.
about him.
Howard the Duck was having sex with Leah Thompson in the
Yeah,
movie.
you won't see that on this one, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a wild scene. I mean, basically, I think it was Leah Thompson. It was
Yeah.
They just woke up. They're in bed together, and she's smoking a cig because back in the 70s and 80s, that was the thing in the movies.
Yeah.
If after sex, you have a cigarette. And it was funny. It was like she was having a cigarette and she was laying in bed with Howard the Duck. So don't know if that would fly nowadays.
And that was in the comics too, by the way.
Yeah, that's all kinds of weirdness right there, man. We're talking bestiality with ducks and who knows with furries and whatnot. Hey, I don't judge, man. Whatever you do is your business, man. So Howard the Duck live action version coming to Disney Plus. All right, next up is a twofer because you know what? Could be either one or both.
Yeah. I cast doubt on Dark Avengers for the longest time because the original scoop was that Norman Osborn would be, leading them. Like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to have a Sony property, leading this team. So what I'm hearing is that they're leaning towards Thunderbolts, being the name of the show. Obviously, we've seen some of the members already on various Disney Plus shows. So we're definitely going to see them.
So, do you think it's going to be a little amalgam of both of them? I mean, I don't think they want to. They don't want to confuse people with calling them the Dark Avengers, and unless, and we've always talked about this, until Marvel actually outright buys Sony, Feige's not going to put Norman Osborn as a major, head of something. Because what if like last time when they ended the contract, and next thing you know, it's like we don't have Spider-Man anymore for that 2 months or whatever that they were talking about. That right before D23 that left, Tom Holland was shell shocked, like, what the hell? I'm not part of the MCU anymore. It's like, but if those who have watched Venom 2 and stayed for the mid-credit scene, then you'll see, maybe things are mixing or not. But because the end credit scene comes literally 95 minutes later. That is truly the shortest film I've seen in quite a long time. It was, I think, 90 minutes runtime. Alternatively, I just saw James Bond, No Time to Die, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Good Lord.
So the last two movies I've seen are really short or really long. But I would say if you haven't seen James Bond yet, I know it's a long movie. Stay to the very, very end. It's not a spoiler anymore. Look, it says James Bond will return. So, James Bond is too rich of a franchise for them to give up on. So to me, it sounds like they're going to be rebooting the franchise because it didn't say 007 will return. It says James Bond will return. So, but Daniel Craig, obviously, we already know Daniel Craig. This is his last time playing, James Bond. So, I gave that No Time to Die 3 McRibs out of 5. I was a bit it was a bit underwhelming. It didn't feel like Casino Royale was a great Daniel
it's an
Craig.
awesome film.
That was
Awesome
one of
movie.
the. I mean, that was one of the best, Daniel Craig spy films. And Spectre was in there as well. I mean, it was pretty cool. But there you go. So, Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, pick your poison. Hulk, I think it's 449, and then Dark Avengers #1. But don't think too hard that Norman Osborn is going to be leading them. The Thunderbolts team is interesting because it's kind of, they start off with some really C-list villains, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, Songbird and all these other weird that used to be villains, and then Kurt Busiek eventually, they started loving the adoration of the people, and they, you know what, I want to be a good guy, and and that's what continues on for the Thunderbolts. So we shall see, man. So Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, if you know what, get them both. But I've Thunderbolts is definitely coming. I don't know,
if I was a betting man, I would say Thunderbolts is what they're gonna call them. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dark Avengers, I don't think they would use that, since the Avengers name is already kind of out there.
Yeah.
They're just gonna, so all 250 of you watching are pretty much hardcore comic book fans and know what Dark Avengers are versus regular Avengers. If the general movie going audience, you see Dark Avengers, you're not gonna know what to make of it. So you know what I mean. But introduce something brand new like Thunderbolts, like the Eternals. You know what? You can do whatever you want with it. All right.
Oh yeah.
Next up is another twofer. Next up on the list is Werewolf by Night. What are you hearing about Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, so he's going to debut on Moon Knight, and if they show Moon Knight footage with Werewolf by Night, it's gonna bring the house down, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah. By the way, first appearance of Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night is Werewolf by Night 32. So I didn't put that on here, but I did put in the first appearance of Jack Russell in Marvel Spotlight #2, as well as the first appearance of the new Werewolf by Night, which is Jake Lopez. Which one are you hearing?
Yeah,
which one are they leaning toward?
the new one is the new guys is who they're going to. I heard they're going to use. Then they're going to have the Halloween special, and that's already announced before. But he'll have his own show.
Yeah. So we're getting a Halloween special Werewolf by Night, and we're getting a Christmas special of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And damn, James Gunn has already caused people to go crazy with Jake Gomez. I'm sorry. Thank you for that, Rush Diehard. Yeah, Jake Gomez is the new Werewolf by Night, and in this issue here, where I think James Gunn had tweeted he tweeted a picture of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and he goes, "Can't wait to introduce one of the most powerful characters in the MCU," or something like that, or most important, right? So everybody just went wild on it, and then, believe it or not, there is a Santa Claus in the MCU.
Yeah.
And he's very powerful. So there you go. Take it for what it is. But Werewolf by Night, man, we've been talking Marvel Horror is going big. Speaking of another team book, yes. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. There we go. Young Avengers, boys and girls. What are you hearing finally about the Young Avengers?
Yeah, this is likely to be announced at Disney Plus Day. It's in plain sight, for a while.
Oh yeah, they've already introduced most of them.
Yeah. It won't be a theatrical film; it'll be a Disney Plus show. But there's really not much to say about it. Other than there are some spin-off shows that'll come from these characters too. And there's one in particular.
So there's two books I put up here because there are two different teams. Obviously, the first one, the Young Avengers, has the most: Kate Bishop, Wiccan, Speed, all those guys. But interesting enough, that second volume, America Chavez is part of that team, and we all know America Chavez is coming in Doctor Strange 2. So that'd be maybe a book to look. I mean, it's not surprising. I know it's already, a lot of people have already been getting it. I was able to find it in my LCS, but if you see either of these Young Avengers, snatch them up. And if you see a Young Avengers CGC 9.5, you've hit the jackpot, Peter Parker, because do not crack it and reslab it. You want that CGC 9.5 label because it was specific for Los Angeles Wizard World when they used to have their shows, and they had a special 9.5 label. They're basically 9.8s, but they just put it just for the Wizard World's show. And obviously the Young Avengers book pops off because it's like the biggest issue, but there's like 8 or 9 other 9.5s that you could have gotten at Wizard World Los Angeles. So there you go. Speaking of Young Avengers, this guy's getting his own show, and we've already seen him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Patriot, yeah. And they're gonna have a flashback to is that his grandfather? That was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Um, and
Eli Bradley.
Eli Bradley, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I think the Patriot is Elijah Bradley. But
Yeah.
they've already teased it, so they don't
Mm-hmm.
just we always say, Marvel doesn't throw out names just for no reason at all, right? From the kid
Mm-hmm.
that was gonna be from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Hispanic kid that ends up being the Falcon. And
Yeah.
then in the credits they even said that the what's his name's grandson is Elijah Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
And if his grandfather was given the super soldier serum, then quite possibly he was born with it in his blood and it hasn't activated yet. So it's very good.
Yeah, they feel that of all the Young Avengers, besides Kate Bishop, that the Patriot has the most interesting side story they could really explore as a series. So this character excites them greatly, and the fact that they can flash back to his grandfather's early days.
Yeah, Red
Um,
Ranger asks, is the same guy going to be playing him?
um, you mean the Patriot himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is about his grandfather on the show is they aged him up, right? He does
yeah,
not look
yeah,
that old. Isaiah Bradley, yeah, is the grandfather, I believe.
yeah.
Or it's Elijah. Elijah is the young one.
Yeah,
But
Isaiah is the grandfather. Yeah, he was.
yeah, and they purposely aged him up. And that tells me, they have something else in store for him
Oh
without
yeah.
all this, all this makeup on to make him. Why not just get an old actor that that they don't have to put makeup on to make him look older? You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
mean they de-age people all the time, so digitally. So why
Mm-hmm.
not do it that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you go. So that Young Avengers book we've been talking about it for years now, man. Get them all. There's this one. There's the sketch variant. There's like a half sketch color variant on this one. I mean, if you look at the raw market value just on the Young Avengers #1, just a regular cover, $273. But yeah,
Wasn't there a Patriot solo story? I have it somewhere here, and I can't remember the title of the book, but there was a Kate Bishop solo story in that series, like a limited series, I believe, where they had like solo Young Avengers stories. Do you know that one?
yeah, because it's Young Avengers solo, and there's the Hawkeye one,
Yeah. Yep.
or
That's the
excuse
one.
me, Kate Bishop one.
Kate Bishop, yeah.
There's Stature, or the one Cassie
Yeah.
Lang is on the cover of one. Yeah, I have all those as well. So that's
Yeah.
another great book to get if you don't, obviously a lot of people are priced out of Young Avengers, but look
Yeah.
for those. It's like Young Avengers Presents or something along those lines, and
Yeah.
it highlights each character of the team.
That's the one.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and those
I would
people
get
are,
that Patriot book there, and it's just
yeah.
before.
People have been buying them up, for a long time. All right. Going on an hour, and this is the last one on the list. This shouldn't be a surprise to many of you. Hopefully, you guys didn't flip this because this character showed up and then flew off, but they didn't fly out for far away. White Vision, boys and girls. What are you hearing about the White Vision?
Well, the White Vision obviously was in WandaVision. Yeah, he's gonna get his own solo show without Wanda there. Um, kind of details are kind of very sketchy on this. Don't know that much about it, um, except that they're really gonna explore the character much more deeply. And I think some of the philosophical stuff that we saw with him in WandaVision will play a role in this. Um, and like in terms of his comic book appearances, I read this, but I don't know what else they did with him after. So those books are the ones you might want to look out for because they need. Obviously, the Marvel Studios stuff is always influenced by the comics, right? Um, so his appearances after this, you might want to take a look at. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he kind of realizes that he's not who he's supposed to be and he flies off. So I can see him kind of going on and being kind of trying to figure out what he would. I mean, it would be. Because WandaVision was almost almost kind of the Tom King version of the Vision as well, where he has his own android family. Where they introduce Viz, or what's her name, and it has his own family that he creates, and they're basically a family of androids. But I mean, there's a reason why we saw White Vision just fly off. They're not going to do away with him. You know what I mean? I don't think the actor said this is the last time I'm playing him either. But perfect for Disney Plus, since they saw him on WandaVision already, and we know. And I think there was there's some tease about something about WandaVision season 2, which could be maybe White Vision instead of that. Maybe they got the names mixed up, but either way, I think it's he flew off. We're going to see the further adventures of White Vision, trying to figure out where his humanity is, or if he has humanity. I mean, really, the Mind Stone is really what gives, him kind of his humanity, and he ends up evolving, as Steve Rogers has said, right? And then, him and then Wanda, have a rich history, but it'd be interesting to see him on his own journey. And I think with the popularity of WandaVision, having the White Vision series on Disney Plus, people would totally flock to it, right? So,
oh hell yeah, yeah.
So there you go, boys and girls. That is part 1 of this list. That I looked at Mike and I said, I can't do all this in one show. This is way too many. So next week's show, there will be another probably 10 or so series that we're going to talk about. Remember, Tori Lanzo said they're working on 31 projects that include both film and other platforms like Hulu, Disney Plus, things of that nature. So, and you think about it, movies, really, the max they can do a year is 3. They don't do more than 3 movies a year. Right now, it can be 2 movies a year. But, if you think 31 and you subtract, 2 or 3 films a year for the next 3. So let's say the next 3 years they do, 2 to 3 films a year. That's, 8 or 9 films a year. It's still 21 projects that they're working on that they have platforms for. And I think Disney Plus was a godsend for them when the shutdown happened, when they could put out things. I mean, just think about when they launched with The Mandalorian, how huge that was, right?
Yeah. And if you think about it, like, these characters would have not have seen the light of day. They would have been jam packed in cinematically with X-Men and Fantastic Four. There'd be no room for these characters, but now they do because they have Disney Plus and Hulu at their disposal here. So,
I mean, Dollar Bin Fodder says Charles Murphy blocked me on Twitter after I called him out on a few scoops that he whiffed on.
Oh, the ones he didn't take from us. Okay.
Yeah, join the party. He blocked me like 2 years ago after he was asking me stuff privately in my DM. He slid up in my DMs and then I told him something in confidence. Then next thing you know, he posted it on that hashtag show's website. Then when I called him on it, he blocked me. So what are you gonna do?
Well, I have a funny story before we go. So somebody, I won't remain nameless, recently stole a scoop from mine from back in the summer, which a few months later I updated and said the plans have changed. He's still using the old scoop, right? That is now obsolete. You know what?
Does he have a Patreon?
Yeah, I think so. Justice is served. Go ahead and fall on that sword, all right? I mean, that's all I can say. I find it hilarious.
Does it start with a D?
Yeah, I think so.
Does it end with a K?
Possibly, yeah.
There you go. We're not going to give that troll any oxygen. If we're a fire...
I find it hilarious. Like, you know what? Go ahead and take it. It's obsolete. You know?
Yeah. And they're charging people on Patreon for it. It's like ridiculous, Yeah. Here, we're just hanging out with 250 of our friends and we're just telling you what we're hearing. Hey, hopefully it comes to fruition. Like, things are subject to change. Sometimes titles change, sometimes characters change, but for the gist of it, I can't wait for Disney Plus Day, man. Hearing anything from DC Fandom?
I'm hearing mixed things, TiVo. I mean, the Ayer cut apparently is going to be announced. Other than that, no Flash trailer. I've been hearing there's no Flash trailer. Black Adam, you're going to see some behind the scenes stuff, maybe a teaser at best. The Batman trailer apparently is just the old trailer with a little bit of new stuff added.
Why?
So
it's been so long.
and they're gonna have some presentation on the Super Pets. I mean, I mean, it just like they really, really have to go all out. If
What's
there's no
your confidence? What's your confidence on the Ayer's cut?
oh man, how many McRibs you mean?
Yeah, how many McRibs out of 5 are you confident that there will be an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad?
I'm 4, not trailer, but announcement. I would say 4 McRibs out of 5 on that.
4 McRibs out of 5, huh?
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds pretty strong.
So you think it'll announce it at DC Fandom?
I'm pretty sure, unless it's the clowns, Hamada and those guys. And
I will say this. I mean, Justice League wasn't an awful movie, right? I mean, it's still, but Suicide Squad was, I don't know how much more you can cut that to make it a good film. Unless unless they announce that he's going to film additional footage. Because do you remember when David Ayer first came out? It was the first time the Suicides or the Justice League Snyder Cut movement started. Or David Ayer came out and said, "Nope, this is my final cut." Right? Like, I don't know if he was like just playing ball, but now he's coming out and saying, "Yo, there's some stuff that's not my movie. This, that, and the other."
Oh yeah, he was saying it's like his film didn't have the music that this film didn't have.
Because it was cut by a video. The film was edited by a music video company or something like that, right?
Apparently, a much darker, grittier film. So
that's David Ayer. David Ayer does films like he does these gritty harsh time. Go look up this movie Harsh Times with Christian Bale by David Ayer. Where Christian Bale is basically a white boy who grew up in East LA and he talks like a cholo. But it's absolutely gritty. There's another two cop one, and just like it's a movie Tank, right? Absolutely
that's what I was thinking of.
Violent, right? I mean, that was
gritty as
when
hell.
they picked him for Suicide Squad. I go, well, that's an odd choice, but okay, we'll see. Yeah. And then the music in it was just like, come on, swing, 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 better, swing. Just awful music that they do. You could tell somebody else edited and put that weird music in that Suicide Squad movie. But there you go. If you're gonna get an Ayer cut, be careful what you wish for, boys and girls. Any last words, Mikey Sutton?
GeekOutCMag.com. Got a Wonder Woman scoop out there right now. Got more scoops this week. And next Sunday, got a big day for S.W.O.R.D. And the Sunday after that, we're going to do X-Men in the MCU, Disney Plus. All the shows you're discussing. In fact, I think 2 of them are on next week's list, too. There's more than that. I got some more already. There's one in particular you and I have been talking about for a couple of weeks now, and I know people are buying it up, and if you haven't bought the first appearance of Blink already, you really should.
Oh boy, there we go. There you go. Hey, so forget Sunday Night Football for the next 2 Sundays, okay? So, or you can watch the TV. You can watch the game while you have the computer on, or watch us on the rewind. Either way, we appreciate all you guys for joining in. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to Mikey Sutton. This is TiVo. Keep digging in them long boxes, and peace out, y'all.
See ya.
Now let's do this.
Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is upstate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here. We're back. Word up. Get to my job. You can't get fresher than this. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice. Oh, how so? I'll be too busy looking good.
You can't understand.